listening to them projects, just around that time, the whole climate, you almost came across like the muscle for Jet Life and Currency, because he didn't necessarily rap when he had transitioned to that whole phase, talking about getting fly.
Because he always, like, it
he
just
used to
was
mention
just
you
right.
though. Oh,
like, anytime, a lot of people will say, like, and I used to tell people that, I said, anytime that nigga mention guns or something, who gonna slang that bitch, he gonna say me. I think it's just good strategy.
Yeah.
Like, I understand marketing and advertising and all that kind of shit. Like, a lot of that shit don't really move no niggas.
But you said bar for bar, you think Wayne will come out victorious?
Easily.
Man, speaking of, like hip hop, man, and Lil Wayne in particular, you done talked about how you had relationships or just history, grew up around people like Juvie, Turk, BG, but Cash Money during the early days that you used to see Wayne or be around Wayne before Spitta even got down with him,
Like, Stunning them used to be around. Like, you got to remember, like, all this shit was damn they shot in the project, around the project or something. Them dudes was around. So you saw everybody. And you got Turk from the projects. Turk used to be back there every day. BG hang back there. Jewel from back there. Like, everybody was around. Like I think that's what made them. And you can say the same thing about No Limit, but that's why we were so connected to them, because we saw them. Like, they wasn't no people who you just see on TV. You see them niggas on BET, then you see them niggas in the cold.
Yeah, they were accessible.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was gonna ask you if you had it, because you like one of the kings of the stories, man. If you got an Untold or a Lil Wayne story you can share. I know you mentioned being at the strip club that time, or some club in Miami, when y'all was walking to a tour bus and
no,
yeah, but
I know what you're talking about.
But I didn't know if you had a different, like a Lil Wayne story, man, from back then. Just looking at his rise and elevation, he never stopped, man. It seemed like he was the one person who worked for years until he finally got that Just Do It crossover too.
Definitely.
As a solo artist, after everybody left, all the other hot boys left, he stayed and held it down, and then blew up after that though, with the Carter 2, etc. You know what I'm saying?
I think Wayne was built for that shit though. Like, one thing you could say about, like, what I know about him and Spitta, them they smart. Like, they way more intelligent than you would think. So they rap, their music just be different. They be on another level. As far as a story about Wayne, bro, let me trip you out. So I don't know what holiday it is, but one day Wayne and Mac, this one Wayne up too. Like, I'm talking about doing all kind of shit like that. And Wayne and Mac come to Jet Lounge one night.
You talking about Mac Main?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me and Spitta in there, right? He pop up on Spitta. Him and Spitta always have a great relationship. So we in there smoking this shit, right? The nigga Wayne handed me a Backwoods. I hadn't smoked a blunt in probably like 7 years. I hit that bitch. Ooh, Spitta drag from me. And he always used to say it like that. Yeah, you always talking about you don't smoke them blunts no more. Bitch, you hit it when Wayne handed that bitch to you. And it was just fun as a month. But I really hadn't smoked a blunt in like fucking 7 or 8 years.
Straight papers.
Straight papers. And Wayne handed me that bitch and I just hit that bitch.
You gonna tell him no? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Wayne, man.
We just was so much in a conversation. Like, I don't think it was that. Like, we just running it and all that. But Spitta happened to see this shit, because I could have played like I ain't never hit it or something. Spitta saw that shit, boy. That was the funniest shit.
Yeah, he talk about kicking you out of Jet Life. Then he was like, man, nah, man, it's a no blunts rule,
like,
man.
You hit that bitch for Wayne, nah. Because Young be hard on not smoking no blunts. It's super hard, bro.
I mean, speaking of that, do you prefer, you personally, without going with the movement, man, as far as like Wiz, Currency, that whole time when they was talking about papers, all that, man. Like, you personally being a real deal stoner, do you prefer, joints overall, or does it vary with the bongs, or you doing like, edibles?
Well, I don't fuck with no edibles. You don't know when you're high. I don't fuck with them. Like, but like, you don't realize that black shit you be spitting out when you be smoking them blunts. like them bitches is harsh, bro. That's what I realized, like them bitches. And then I don't know, like Journey's the best thing I transferred to, I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, definitely. Cause you gotta think, man, I was smoking when we were smoking Swishes and Optimals and Keep Moves and all that shit, man. Like I mean, they used to have the fucking the Swishes with the tip on them. We used to cut them with and cut the tips off. Like I've been smoking for a long fucking time.
Blunts.
Fucking blunts, bro. I've been smoking blunts longer than I've been smoking.
That's what I'm saying. So was it?
Tearing my fucking body up.
You was follow. So did you follow suit?
I think like I told you one time, me and Spitta went on tour and I ain't had no blunt, and he ain't stop. Like we went all the way to Miami, so I ain't smoked no blunts all the way to Miami. Cause he was just. I haven't told you about that. I think it was.
No, I don't think you told me that.
Drive through theater tour or something.
No.
Like it was a time when I was talking about when I was on some fuck rap shit. Like I hadn't got really back in the streets. I was like, man, fuck that rap shit, right? And Spitta called me and told me pull up by Musa, by the shop. I pull up by Musa by the shop, and he tell me get on the bus. The bus started. I got my car outside, and I'm still doing shit. Like I'm hustling this shit, like right. I got the fucking bus take off. I'm like, we sitting back there talking. I'm like, where the fuck we going? He like, we going to Miami. We about to go on tour. I'm like, man, I ain't got no clothes. My fucking coat in front of the door. I got all kind of shit going. He like, we gonna buy everything we need. Tell somebody to go get your car and get somebody to take care of everything else you need. That's when I started the OG Love That OG series.
On tour with him?
Yeah, because like one day we sitting on the back of the bus and that nigga I was like, man, look, cause I wasn't really on the rap shit no more. I was like, look, he was just getting he was getting the jet life apparel shit going. I was like, look, bro, what you need me to do? Like, you need me to get with Musa, help him with the management. You want me to help with the marketing, with the apparel? Like, what you want me to do? And he was like, you tripping. You need to rap. I was like, hey, you know, this shit kind of getting old. That nigga told me, that nigga said Snoop Dogg still rapping, he's still relevant. So what I took from that is I just had to change the kind of shit I was saying. That's when I started the OG Love That OG series. That's what I started that shit from. I started recording records on the bus. But I just thought, because the shit had got bored to me, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was getting older, so all that sliding and all that kind of shit wasn't making no sense. So I had the challenge was just to start putting some game in the shit. Then once I did that, I'm like, oh, okay. But that's how I started that OG Love That OG series.
Was Fiend already in the picture by this time?
Definitely. This was like drive-through theater tour or something, bro. This wasn't that long ago. Yes, you know, this when I did the first OG Love That OG.
But I'm thinking like before that you was already on songs with
I was doing this is when I started the OG.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You kind of see what I'm saying? Like we was already doing records and shit. Like I was.
But it wasn't serious. You went full-fledged.
I was just getting off of music. Like I wasn't on it like that. You'll see me step in every now and then to do a few verses. But what you wasn't on, I was in the fucking streets. Like when you hear me on movie writers, business, and the gangsters and all that kind of shit. Like, wow, I was in the streets. You ain't never saw me on tour with Spitta or none of that shit. So I was just dipping in doing verses because I had so much other shit going on, fighting cases and all kind of stupid shit like that. But I had so much other shit going on.
Man, you know what it seemed like to me when I was, listening to them projects, just around that time, the whole climate, you almost came across like the muscle for Jet Life and Currency, because he didn't necessarily rap when he had transitioned to that whole phase, talking about getting fly. And
because he always, like, it
he
just
used to mention
just,
you,
right?
though. Oh,
like, anytime, a lot of people will say, like, and I used to tell people that, I say, anytime that nigga mention guns or something, who gonna slang that bitch, he gonna say me. But, like, he was, at that time, like, he was really being himself. And I was really in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So he really started making it cool for motherfuckers to really be themselves. Like saying, look, I probably don't do you nothing, but you better watch this nigga on side me. And then at that time, like, I was defensive. Like, I used to stay, like, he used to always be like, you tripping. I used to be like, no, I ain't. Like, I just used to be in that mode because I just used to be looking at things like I know how easy a motherfucker could become a fucking fish to a shark. Like I'm round shark, so I know how these niggas move. So I used to be defensive on a lot of motherfuckers. Like I think, like me and Moose used to be like that though. Like Moose protected him as in his relationships and watching motherfuckers, and I was just like on some, whoever wanted, we really gonna get out. But it was just that at that point in time, that was the zone I was in. Like you gotta think, like I'm coming out the projects. And it's not like I wasn't making money off music, but that street money was something, it was something totally different.
Yeah.